What the hell happened there? Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the only late night movie talk show on YouTube worth a shit. Hollywood After Dark. Tonight we're going to be talking about Avatar: The Way of Water, Death Stranding, the movie, and of course, Henry Cavill's very bad, no good day, but maybe followed up by something pretty badass. I don't know. Hollywood After Dark, folks, begins right fucking now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. It is, of course, just about 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Thursday night, December 15th, 2022. It feels like it's 2009 again. I feel like I'm pretty wired. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty excited. I saw Avatar: The Way of Water a little bit ago. We'll talk more about that towards the end of the show. That being said, guys, it's been a very interesting day when it comes to just a whole heap of conversations still surrounding Henry Cavill. And I feel bad for him. I do feel really bad for him. We're going to dive right on in. Don't worry when it comes to the Avatar stuff. I'm going to talk about it at the end of the stream. And don't worry, there's not a lot to spoil. I don't think we're going to spoil anything, but we're just going to get people's general overall thoughts and perspectives about what they thought about Avatar and where they think things might go and what might absolutely be happening. So first things first here, guys, if you enjoy what I do here, you enjoy the show, you like it, you want to help support it, keep it going into 2023, patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. Great way to do that. Or become a channel member. We are going to be doing a live stream watch party tomorrow night, probably around the same time, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time yet. We'll be putting that in the community section on YouTube, asking people what they want to see, or on Patreon, and we'll watch something small and fun together. It will be a very good time. Patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. Again, that's not giving YouTube any money. That's just going right to me. Best way to do it. Anyway, Patio Commentary is back tonight, finally with a new video after I got sick and I didn't see anything else for a little bit. I did put up my review of Avatar: The Way of Water. It is available over there right now. It's funny that the $10 super chat here that I got from Shiny is kind of embarrassing. So he says, for $10.69, fantastic, thank you so much. Do you use the same comb for both the beard and the pubes? So what he's talking about is when I got home from the movie, which was a hell of a thing. We got stuck in about 2 hours worth of traffic, and I missed the first couple minutes of the movie. Just kind of setting up the general plot. I missed about 5 minutes, but still it was very frustrating to get stuck in that much traffic simply just to watch a movie. But I went live on the Patio Commentary channel to do my review, and usually I have it set to private so no one gets the notification, and then I can tweak it and edit it after the fact. Well, unfortunately, what happened here is I went live, and I started I screw up a little bit in the beginning so people saw my flubs, and then I combed my beard, and that's what he's talking about here. The answer to that question, Chinese, no, I do not use the same beard for the top and the drop. I don't do that at all. That's something that I just simply don't do. There might have been another super chat that came on in. It's not showing me it here, obviously. So if you guys did super chat that in, let me know so I can see it, because otherwise I'm just not able to see it for some reason. It did not pop up anywhere that I know of that I can see. So with any luck, you guys will be able to tell me what it is so I can then answer it. But in the meantime, let's move forward. That is, by the way, youtube.com/Patio Commentary. Let me just put that in the chat there. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours watch, guys. And that's a good way to do that. Thank you all very much. It was HBarts who did that with a chat. Okay, I don't know what HBarts says. HBarts, let me know. You got to let me know. I didn't get it. It didn't show me. It did not show me the super chat. So unfortunately, HBarts, just tell me what it is so I can check it out. But all right, guys, moving on. I want to talk about this is some sad news. This is news I don't like, because of course today marks the 5th anniversary of The Last Jedi, a movie that I man, I still can't get over. I still don't like. I'm still not a fan of. You guys all know that. I need to sit down one day and have an actual debate with somebody who likes the movie and not even go down any of like the woke, BS people like to argue, because I don't care about any of that, but just to talk about the film on its merits, because I don't know why. I still feel so torn by this movie. It just drives me to the wall. But anyway, here's what we know. After the release of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson was attached to do a trilogy of his own. In fact, that was actually announced before the movie came out, and he's still keen to do. Every time it comes up in conversation, he always talks about it. He's always like, oh yes, I would love to go back to a galaxy far, far away. I would very much love to do it. He actually said this in an interview with Insider today. When asked about it, he says, it wouldn't be the end of the world for anyone, I think, but I would be sad. I love the world. I love the people. I love Star Wars fans. I love the passion of how they engage in it. There's nothing like telling a story in this world and then experiencing people truly connecting to it and letting you know that. It's extraordinary. So I'm hoping I get to do it again, but nothing is the end of the world until the end of the world actually happens, which, what day of the week is it? So he's making a bit of a joke. He's having a little bit of fun. He is very much trying to play into the questioning of all that. And I get it. He probably wants to do it, but at the same time, why would he? Why would he actually want to do it at this point? It's been 5 years. He is largely disliked by the Star Wars fandom because of The Last Jedi and how it actually completely derailed things. And yes, look, you can argue that The Rise of Skywalker was not as good of a movie as it could have been, that maybe perhaps it was done as a reaction to what happened with The Last Jedi. And maybe that's also because The Last Jedi didn't do anything really to follow up the events of The Force Awakens, even though it took place literally the next effing day. Nothing happened. Nothing fucking happened in that movie that moved the needle. They killed Luke Skywalker, you guys, because he was fucking tired. Woo! He was sleepy, ladies and gentlemen. He just was a tired boy. Needed to take a nap. Needed to take an eternal nap. Needed to just freaking fade out of existence. Of course, people who The Last Jedi fans want you to believe that was top tier, epic, grade A, A24-esque level storytelling. When in reality, folks, it's a load of crap. It's a load of malarkey. But I do agree with Roman numerals here. The Last Jedi did have excellent cinematography. It did. That's what sucks about it. On a technical level, it was really good. On a technical level, it was really good. On a fundamental storytelling level, it sucked. It sucked so bad. So bad. McLeod here says that Dane, actual fandom, did his stream today about TLJ. I know he did. I think he wanted me to come on that. At some point, it might have been brought up or whatever. But of course, today was Avatar Day. So I was out there watching the Avatar, the movie. So let's move on from that, because I don't want to be sad when talking about all this, right? Let's talk about drunk Henry Cavill. Bad day, Henry Cavill. By the way, this image was created using an AR art program called Midjourney. I was messing around with it today. I love the soulless look of the eyes, the no pupils. Really makes it look like he's having just a hell of a day. And if you happen to be against AI art, that's cool. I don't care. I thought it was kind of funny to mess around with this kind of stuff. And so anyway, Henry Cavill has just kind of had a bit of a time, right? A bit of a time recently. It has not necessarily been good for him. Look, with yesterday's reveal that Cavill will not be playing Superman in the DC universe going forward, there are people out there that started to very much ask the question, is he going to go back to The Witcher? Now, I made a joke about it on Twitter this morning. I'm like, if Henry Cavill is not on the phone with Netflix trying to get it all done, that's really ridiculous. But no, as we're finding out here, Henry Cavill will not be returning to The Witcher following the exit. According to this Joe Blow report, it says here, many outlets, including Variety, have reported that these recent developments won't impact Henry Cavill's future on The Witcher because he left it. Right? He left it. Now, him leaving for Superman is something that a lot of us have speculated. Obviously, he left for other reasons as well. There was like a lot of problems with the showrunner and the creative leads, and the idea there that the script writers simply didn't like the source material. and all that kind of stuff that is either here nor there, because it is just, generally speaking, rumors at this point in time. However, Henry Cavill has he's kind of come out and he's kind of said that, maybe that might have been a thing. There's a quote here from him where he says, "The toughest part for me was finding the balance between the showrunner's vision and my love for the books, and trying to bring that Geralt to the showrunner's vision." He also says here, "All of my asks and requests were along the lines of just being faithful to the source material." Then, of course, there is, honest to God, at this particular point, a question worth asking. Was he simply being too much of a diva about the source material? Obviously, any person out there who enjoys The Witcher and wants to see it and wants it to be accurate is going to be like, no, obviously not. Like, clearly he was built for the role. He loved the role. He loved everything about it. He wants to just make sure it's being done in a very, very, very particular way. Obviously, I agree with that one right there. But with no Superman and no Witcher, what about the future of Henry Cavill? And that, of course, was a big thing today. When we found this popping up on Twitter this afternoon, I was already watching Avatar when this stuff dropped. So according to the Snyder from Jeff Snyder, one of the most just like cynical Hollywood critics out there, he says that Amazon is trying to get the rights for a Warhammer 40K project, and that they are trying to get Henry Cavill to star in the project. Now, this is something that he broke before Hollywood Reporter broke it. Now, what you have to remember about Jeff Snyder is Jeff Snyder gives like literally 100% zero fucks, like at all. Does not care about anything. And the reason why is because he's not invited to the party anymore. And he's been open about this on Twitter. He's like, I don't care. I'm just going to break scoops. So he'll get called out by people who work like for I forget which guy called him out recently, but somebody called him out recently and they're just all like, God damn it, stop doing this shit. And he's all like, no, I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to do it. You guys, I'm totally going to do it. That's what's going to happen here, folks. But here's what we are finding out from the report in Hollywood Reporter. They're saying here that the show would be set 40,000 years in the future, where things are dark indeed. Human civilizations have stopped progressing and are in an unending war with aliens and magical beings, with gods and demons figuring into a theological class system. It's very complicated, but if you hang out here, we have 40K pills all the time. You might have picked up a thing or two. I think I picked up one or two things. It's all cool, but it's a lot. Anyway, so it goes on to describe Warhammer to all of you who are uninitiated by saying here that the humans make up the Imperium of Man, who are militaristic. A race of skeleton-like androids are known as the Necron. There are an elvish race known as the Eldari, as well as the Orcs. Tyranids are nasty aliens, and the Tau are a blue-skinned alien race that may offer some hope. It's always the blue people. Like I said, Avatar, folks, Avatar is definitely going to be something that's blue, da-da-dee-da-da-da, da-da-dee-da-da-da, da-da-dee-da-da-da. Anyway, so we've got that little tidbit right there. But just to let you guys know here, this is where things get complicated, because Cavill, yes, massive, huge, massive, insanely massive. I keep saying massive fan of Warhammer. You know this if you've ever watched him outside of his roles. But right now, the project is in a very early developmental phase. Like, what I mean by that is, according to this report, Amazon has actually yet to close the deal on Cavill. That this is not actually the next gig for him, but it's that something that they want to do down the road. So a lot of people, are going to be jumping on this thinking Henry Cavill is in Warhammer. Henry Cavill's in Warhammer, when we have to remember that this is just them floating this information out there at a time when Henry Cavill's social media capital is as massive as it is. And he's taken a couple L's in recent times. So people are like, he's the underdog. You want to come out, you want to like help him out a little bit. So this particular story drops. And it's also possible that this was potentially pushed out there by Henry Cavill's team. Now, if we recall, his manager is Danny Garcia, who co-owns $7 Productions with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Hiram Garcia. And we can basically tell at this point, and I think it's been kind of confirmed by Puck News, that they leaked a bunch of information out there about Black Adam and everything else. And so it's entirely possible. It's just a way of looking at it. It's entirely possible that maybe, just maybe, they drop this information to the trades in order to boost and bolster Henry Cavill's particular social media profile and maybe work to get financing for this thing done, or to end up getting this entire story, this entire project off the ground if they have him attached to it. But for right now, it's kind of just like a freaking pipe dream. You know what I mean? As weird as that is to say, it's just a pipe dream. But we do have a couple super chats that are relevant to this particular subject here. By the way, guys, we're about ready to crack 99 live viewers. Please do me a solid, hit the like, share it around, tell your friends, get in on the HWAD squad. It's always a good time here. H-Bars for 5 bones. Thanks, buddy. Says, some people are so sad Cavill is gone that they've cut off all contact. There are some people out there, H-Bars, that are 100% so mad about what happened. They are coping and seething, and they're angry about it. And I understand, man. I understand entirely. I completely get it entirely. This is a scenario where it does feel like a lot of people's emotions have been torn out of their chest, and they've been stamped on it. They've been stomped on it. They've been destroyed for no other reason than corporate greed and excess. But at the same time, you got to learn to manage your expectations, folks. You got to learn to manage all that stuff. Okay. Anyway, Rational for 5 bones here. Thank you. Says, Matt is 100% right. We live in a post 9/11 world where you can't do a happy Superman saving cats out of trees and being a local neighborhood reporter anymore. I mean, yeah. I've been getting a lot of wins recently. I don't want to gloat about it or nothing like that. I feel if I gloat about it, that might be too much. I mean, if I were to do this, it might be just considered a little bit over the top.
Fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take that one for a couple days. But no, listen, here's the thing. Is like, people tell me all the time, Henry Cavill of Superman, it could be relatable. You could make him a Boy Scout again. Look, man, no one looks at the Boy Scouts as being a real kind of honorable organization. It's kind of a rape den, to be fair. It has some bad moments in there. All right. I'm just saying that, you know what, make him something that, like, give him a real problem to go after. But look at him here. Look at him in this image here on the screen. This is him from the Avatar: The Way of Water premiere of the night. Look how defeated he is. Look how sad and tired he looks. He does. He looks sad. He looks tired. It's very terrible. It's absolutely terrible that he's just like, you start seeing the gray in the beard. He's starting to show his age a little bit. You see the gray around the temples, not as young anymore. Ooh, I mean, even James Gunn today said that Superman is just going to be younger in the version that he's working on, right? Once again, giving me that W, because I said it. Nobody wanted to believe it. Oh, look, I'm not going to gloat too much. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, Command Unit here for a $5. Thanks, buddy. Saying here that getting a producer and star role in an Amazon-funded cinematic universe is a dream job for Henry. He has been a fan of 40K since he was 10 years old. That's entirely true. All right. That's entirely true. And there was actually another weird little thing about that. So what we know from this particular story, if you followed anything involving Amazon and its attempt to acquire the rights to certain properties, they've actually gone after Warhammer before. There was a story that was written about back in 2019 about the Eisenhorn series that was being talked about, right? This was actually being developed by Big Light Productions, the folks who were responsible for Amazon's The Man in the High Castle, a show I love. And they say here that Eisenhorn, as the series will be reportedly called, spotlights the major character Gregor Eisenhorn, the Inquisitor, who starred in a trilogy of books by Dan Abnett that debuted in 2001. The news release from Games Workshop and Big Light said Eisenhorn will be based on these books, Xenos, Malleus, and Hereticus. The world of Warhammer 40K is set in the near future, and we already have talked about basically what it is. So this is something that came out a number of years ago. This is something that absolutely came out a couple of years back. There's been no movement on it whatsoever. But now, the day after Henry Cavill gets fired from being Superman, this news drops, and that it's, look, you can clearly tell what exactly is going to be going on here. But we do have a $10 super chat tied into this subject matter from Command Unit. Thank you, buddy. Saying here, the entire 40K cinematic project has been in the works for many, many years, since before the pandemic. This looks like Cavill's project is a separate from the Eisenhorn TV series, potentially. Yeah, you're probably right. What I mean by that, though, is Amazon has tried to get this particular story off the ground, or this particular world off the ground, and everything else. So that is something very fascinating to see on this particular front. And I do want to touch upon another factor with that there, but real quick here, Rational says the Rick posted a cryptic message on Twitter. Can you send me that really quick, Rational, while I talk about this, because that will tie into the subject matter. But here's the thing to consider with this one, Amazon talking about projects. So a couple of years ago, we did have I think it was summer 2017, was the Dark Tower movie starring Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. That movie famously panned, famously shit on by a whole bunch of Stephen King fans. I actually saw the movie. I really enjoyed the movie for what it was. I have no connection to that universe, which is absolutely why. But that being said, Amazon then decided that they were going to work on a television adaptation of the Dark Tower series, and they shot the pilot and they shut it down. They killed it, and it was really weird. Like, oh my God, you guys, like, come on, this is the big of the big. Obviously, it felt like at the time they were putting all of their eggs into the Lord of the Rings basket, which has had a fair amount of success, in my opinion. Looking forward to more. But now we just found out the other day, and I actually didn't cover it because of whatever reason, but you've got Mike Flanagan, who has done a whole bunch of Stephen King adaptations over at Netflix, including Dr. Sleep for Warner Brothers, is a massive, massive King aficionado, has the support of Stephen King himself, as well as the horror fan base. And he just left his massive multi-million-dollar lucrative deal with Netflix. He didn't renew it, and he went over to Amazon to develop the Dark Tower series. So I'm just saying that, yeah, Amazon may be trying to get the shit done for a while, but it's entirely possible that they're going to end up getting it. They're going to end up getting a time on that one real quick. All right, Todd here with a $20 super chat that's kind of related. I'm going to let it go because it's $20, and that's a big dono, and I appreciate it. Todd here is asking, what do you think Ezra Miller, or do you think Ezra Miller will be replaced before the Flash movie comes out or after, because they can't do any press for the movie? I would sit there and say that they're probably going to very much keep Ezra around for the time being. Look, I think if Ezra does really well, if Ezra tracks really, really, really well, then what we're looking at here is a scenario where it would be dumb of them to get rid of him. It'd be dumb of them to get rid of him. But then again, they also just got rid of Henry Cavill, and clearly Ben Affleck isn't coming back. So it's probably more than likely that everything is probably up in the air, and Ezra is probably out of a job, even though it doesn't matter necessarily whether or not Ezra can actually engage in the press tour. But thank you for that, buddy. Really appreciate that. All right, so real quick here, this is kind of tied on in with all this. This was sent to me by Rational Skeptic about 13 hours ago. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson posted a very kind of cryptic post on the socials. A lot of people out there have been really asking. They've been really, really, really asking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson when he's going to say something, when he's going to come out, when he's going to talk, when he's going to speak. Because guys, yesterday his boy got felted. His boy got felted. He got kind of cucked. All right. And here's the thing is, his friend got cucked, and he's part of the reason why his friend got cucked. He fought tooth and nail to get his friend to come back. And then of course things didn't work out, and his friend got cucked. And so now, where is his comment on it? Where is he saying anything about this? Where is he saying like onwards and upwards? I wish everybody the best, yada, 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 typical Hollywood bullshit. But instead he simply quote tweeted some guy named Mr. Brass saying here, "It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice." And he's quoting Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. So Dwayne here says, "I agree, my friend. I heard this quote when I was 15 and it moved me." You know what? Good for him that it moved you, right? Good for him that it did that. 100%. But what's great about this, guys, is the fact that we've got 116 people watching, slap the like. I'm just going to say it. But otherwise, no, look at the comments here. Brandon Davis, a lot of us would love to hear from you. I know time and patience will bring clarity, but can you say anything about what's going on with DC, Black Adam's future, or thoughts on Cavill's exit? I mean, Brandon Davis does not know nobody. You know what I mean? The Rock, as far as I understand it, this is just what I've heard through the grapevine, personally paid for Brandon Davis's mom to travel from Tennessee to New York for the Black Adam world premiere. Never mind that when we saw Brandon Davis the day of that premiere, he was traveling on an airplane wearing a Black Adam t-shirt and also The Rock's own personal brand of Project Rock Beats headphones. So it really does beg the question whether or not someone like Brandon Davis is bought and paid for. But he does ask very good questions here. What is going on? You know, a lot of other people are asking this too. Like Ronak says, are you still our Black Adam or are you moving on? Let's see. Ads here says he's not the one moving on. He's being fired for underperformance. Oof, 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 oof. You've got Chu Bapa saying, can definitely see that through your words and actions and whatever. Okay. But then you've got Mo here dropping the classic New Rockstars meme-worthy thumbnail. Does he know? It's very true. Cameron here asking, please tell us your thoughts on Henry Cavill being removed. I mean, people are just like asking, right? Me today, you know, the gif here, he's so upset. He's upset. He just killed the guy, killed his career. Adam saying, you know, we need your official statement. Look, this goes on and 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 on. And the reason why it goes on and on and on and on and on and on has everything to do with the fact that people out there very much want to know what's happening, and they want to know what The Rock thinks, and they want to know what the future is, right? They want to know what the future is. According to Rational, he also sent another one here. Okay, I'll bring this one up again. Also not related to the topic at hand. Saying here, exciting news as our two disruptive and passionate growing XFL 2023 and Zoa Energy brands converge. Of course they would. They're both owned by The Rock. It's brand synergy. Jeezy crazy. Guys, Jeezy crazy. But yeah, he's talking about XFL, something no one cares about, period. And Zoa Energy drink, which I do not like it. I'm not a fan. But then again, I say that as I'm drinking a Kirkland brand sparkling water lemon flavor, because I happen to enjoy sparkling water, but I do not like Zoa Energy. That shit triggers my diabetes like a motherfucker. And I had the zero sugar shit. All right. But anyway, what do people say here? Our movie news. If you don't know, this guy is massive, massive, massive cuck for Snyder. Oh my God. Saying here, please save DC. So many promises made. None will be fulfilled. Well, you know what? I think at this point, if you are a DC fan, you should be used to that being your mantra. So many promises made. None have been fulfilled. And then, of course, RJ throwing a little bit of shade, throwing a little bit of heat, making a little bit of jokes, some internet bants, simply saying he's done, bro. And then here, and then him also saying, Dwayne, can you comment on the situation with Superman in your future at DC? A lot of people. Yeah, this is, by the way, this is the one I had, right? The zero sugar. It's not good. But a lot, you know, it's just funny, dude. Again, the meme, again, all this, people out there, they're vicious. They're just hounds. They're chomping at the bits for information. They want to know all of this stuff as it's going to be coming along. But unfortunately, no, guys, unfortunately, that's not the way it's happening. Is that The Rock is staying silent because he knows he doesn't look great. And again, look, man, I do feel sorry for Dwayne. I do. I know I pick on the guy a lot. I poke a lot of fun. I have a little bit of fun at his expense. I understand that, folks. I get it 100%. But at the same time, like the guy does put in the work. The work just happens to be relatively mediocre, which is really, I mean, but he commands like $22 million a picture. So like, you know, I make jokes for super chats, guys. Like we're clearly doing things differently, and he's clearly living that best life. But we do have a $5 here one from Command Unit. Thank you, buddy. Saying if Amazon buys Games Workshop, the owners of Warhammer, then Amazon will have both Lord of the Rings and Warhammer IPs. Hope they give 40K the budget it deserves. Well, here's the thing with that is like they've only got Lord of the Rings for 5 seasons. That's it. They're going to pump a lot of money into that. But once that's over, unless they can renegotiate for some new shit, which I don't know if that's going to happen. If they get the Warhammer IP, then they'll probably give it the budget it deserves. But at the same time, they right now own the Stargate IP, and they ain't doing shit. I'm not happy about that. I'd love to see more Stargate, guys. I'd love to see more Stargate at this particular point. All right, we got another 5-bone super chat here from Garrick. Says, why do you think The Rock keeps struggling in finding his own franchise? Skyscraper, Baywatch, and Rampage have all crashed and burned. Okay, so again, not to really rag on The Rock, but we need to understand exactly what he brings to the table. He is not essentially leading man material in a solo movie. He's not. He needs a baby face. He absolutely needs a baby face. That's what people know him from. They know him from wrestling. Heel versus babyface. They know all that shit, which is probably one of the reasons why him and Kevin Hart work as well as they do together. But that being said, when he thinks he can lead a franchise, it's not working out for him. There's been multiple attempts at this. That's why he absolutely positively needs to go back to Fast and Furious. The problem with that is that him and Vin got to work their shit out. But what they should really do is they should play into it. You know what I'm saying? They should 100% play into it. They should completely make it a big spectacle. They should raise the bar with each other, talk about how turbulent it was to film the next movie and all this stuff. And they're going to have it out on screen. And, we're going to be able to see the culmination of that, that macho-ness, right? All that testosterone, just like sweating all over each other. Like, we're going to be able to see all of that in the movie. And that would be something that brings audiences in because they have to give a shit. You have to find a way to trigger that emotional response from your audiences. When The Rock goes off and he's like, hi, I'm playing Die Hard in Skyscraper. Hi, I'm playing David Hasselhoff in Baywatch. Hi, I'm playing that random guy from that video game Rampage you played back in the 80s, but, not one of the monsters. It's just not going to work out very well. And even Black Adam, he's like, I'm playing a character almost none of you have ever heard of. You know what I mean? Like, that is a fair amount of it. That's a fair amount of it, guys. Like, that's just the reality of it here. All right, Command Unit here for 5. Thanks, buddy. It says 40K is much more of an established world than Lord of the Rings, so it's going to be hard to ruin, even if the writing or acting would be bad. But okay, here's the thing, Command Unit. Like, I know you are a diehard fan, and this is where I think you might be a little bit too close to this scenario. You might be a little bit, like, too close to everything. And what I mean by that is that it's like, these are going to have to be adaptations. All right. That, you can sit there and say that 40K is much more of an established world than Lord of the Rings, but it's nowhere near as popular. And that's not to speak that's not to speak against the quality of 40K, but that's just the way that it is. And so adaptations are going to have to pick and choose what they want that they feel is going to be the most approachable from the perspective of a general audience that may not know what the fuck this is. So they're going to have to dumb it down. And I mean, like, really dumb it down. Like, to make it, like, even I have trouble understanding what's going on. Even when you explain shit to me and send videos that are fucking explainers to me, I still do not fully understand everything that's being said. So, they're going to really, really need to tie that down. I'm just saying. Jess here says also The Rock needs better acting. See, I disagree. I disagree because I think he's actually a really, really fine Batman. I mean, he's a really fine Batman. I read another comment. I think he's a really fine actor. He just needs better things to do. All right. He needs better things to do. Ralph's Double Tits here says Jarbo is celebrating Henry's downfall. Horrible. I'm not celebrating his downfall, but I'm making memes. Okay. I'm a meme machine. All right. Rational Year says Hiram Garcia put out a statement saying that Henry will always be our Superman. Yeah. Danny Garcia said the same thing underneath his Instagram post yesterday. That's not anything that's going to fucking matter. Right. That's like me coming out and saying, like, guys, Harrison Ford will always be my Indiana Jones. It doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean a goddamn thing. We're not okay. Bye, Daredevil. We're not spoiling anything, right? All right. H Bart's here for 5 bones. Thanks, buddy. Says, remember Ezra is fighting for Ray Fisher to come back. Is Ezra fighting for Ray Fisher to come back? Because I do not think that Ray Fisher will come back, guys. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I'm not seeing it. You know what I mean? It's not there for me. He's too busy playing a character named Bloodaxe in the Rebel Moon. Like, okay, I am excited for the Rebel Moon movie, but can we just stop for a moment and go, all right, Zach, maybe you would be better off going to an artificial intelligence to inquire about potential actual names for these characters rather than Bloodaxe. It sounds so plebeian. You know, it sounds like something a fourth grader would write. Like, okay, so my story takes place on a distant moon where there's a bunch of rebels, and one of them is a guy, and you know his name is Bloodaxe, and what weapon does he carry? Well, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. He carries an axe that's covered in blood. That's how he got the name. It's very pedestrian. Is what I'm saying here. But look, if Ray Fisher came back, it won't happen. It won't happen. Let's see. Geeks here says, did I see that James Gunn tweeted that he's got big plans for Batman? I did. I just didn't have time to grab all the screenshots and put all that together, but I did see all that. Yeah. But I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it, dude. I think it's going to be okay. Let's see. I don't know. I'm okay. Rational. I don't need a Fandom Wire article about Gunn and The Rock fighting behind the scenes. Because that's actually kind of a new one. I really don't like Fandom Wire. If you can find another source, that'd be great. Isaac Wolf here says Bloodaxe sounds like a name from a low budget D&D run. It really does. It really, really, really does. Todd here says Zach needs to not write most of his movies. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, entirely. You know what I mean? Entirely right there. Look, David Hayter did Watchmen. All right. Like that was really solid. Jess here for 5. Thank you. Says the majority of Rock's acting is Dwayne playing The Rock as a character in the movie. Also, thoughts if Cavill can sue Warner Brothers for defaulting on the deal. No, they can't. If there was no official contract signed and it was just a word of mouth agreement, then yeah, it's not going to happen. They're trying to work with him by offering him another role. They're going to go, oh yeah, you want to come work with us again? You want to come do this thing? Or by all means, yeah. They're going to kind of come on and offer him that as like a, you know, as like a way to, what's the word I want to use here, to like make payback a little bit, right? To pay back a little bit there. That's what they're going to do with that. But no, like he doesn't have like to stand on. Spherical Man here. You don't know that. Well, you know, I do actually. I'm gonna do that. I am gonna say that. I don't know if Mad Max is here. But I mean, I should get him to give me an actual soundbite of that so we can use it as a joke. All right there. Yes. David Goyer did do Man of Steel. Chris Terrio did do BVS as well as Justice League. So yes. And then Todd here says Mikey lied about a contract. Spider-Man Gaming says Mikey lies about everything. Both of those things are relatively accurate in my personal and professional opinion. All right. Command Unit here says with Henry as an executive producer, not a chance that it'd be dumbed down. 40K is high science fiction, but that it's more friendly. But it has more newbie friendly stories. Yes. If they are able to get Henry to come on and have him play, have him be the exec producer, which by the way, just look, no question about it. He should have been executive producer of The Witcher. No question about it. Not one iota of a doubt in my mind that should have been the reality of it. But if they can get him to come in on this thing, I, as a non 40K fan, have high hopes. All right. Like a non 40K fan, have high hopes of that one there. Funky Foo says, I can see Henry as a Deathstroke. Like, that's the thing, man. Henry doesn't want to play a character like that. Like Henry, you cannot go from Superman to somebody not Superman. Does that make sense? I mean, you know what? I'm just saying, right? All right. Fandom Menace Ellis here says, based on James Gunn's tweet, it looks like you were right on the money about Cavill aging out of the role of Superman. Yeah. I saw that too. I thought that was pretty funny. I saw you mention that earlier today as well. I thought that was pretty hysterical. The whole thing of him like, well, he's going to be Superman. He's just going to be younger Superman. And then again, that kind of goes back to the whole, fuck you guys, I was right. TMZ owes me an apology. But here's the thing though, even though I'm joking around and I'm doing a lot of joking, I'm being hyperbolic. I'm trying to be funny and be entertaining. I want to deliver you guys the news in a fun and exciting manner. It still sucks You know what I mean? But I'm not going to cry about it because I kind of saw this coming. I think we all kind of saw what's coming. So there's that. Zachary here asking, would you agree that Kevin Feige should jump on this opportunity to grab Henry Cavill for the MCU? I would say at this point in time, Henry needs to go do other things, right? I just think so. That's not to say that he should never pop up in one of these things, but I just feel like if I were Henry, I wouldn't want to go from like one big franchise to another after losing the two in the last couple of months. That's just me personally. All right. That's just me personally. I wouldn't want to do that. Would you guys want to do that? I mean, think about it. Like, your heart's already broken enough and you're going to wade back in to the competitive nature of streaming on something that's an untested concept in the West, this being 40K. You know, like, do something that you can, do something first. But they did say in the article that he does have other things that are going on. This is not going to be an immediate thing. So there's that. H-Bars here says, yesterday exposed Snyder cultists within the group. I think you can kind of tell who are the Snyder cultists. People who rage quit DM groups over that might be a little bit funny. People who run cope streams and yell and scream at the camera. That might be a little bit bad too. So Spherical Manor says, everyone who didn't have their head up their asses or up in the sand saw the white wall of 0 hour coming. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Isaac here says, Sherlock Holmes spinoff with the Sherlock Holmes. That would be great. That would be awesome. I would absolutely love to see that. I really enjoyed his Sherlock Holmes and Enola Holmes. I loved it. I loved both Enola Holmes movies. Give me a third one. But here's the thing, guys. This is the last thing I'll say about the Henry Cavill bit, because I do have to move on. There's a couple of things still talking about. However, I will say this. When it comes to this scenario, what I find to be really, really, really funny, and I talked about this a little bit last night, was we have to go back. We have to go back 4.5 years, okay? A little over 4 years. September 2018, when the Hollywood Reporter came out and said, Henry Cavill done as Superman. Henry Cavill puts out that really weird statement with him holding up the doll. Danny Garcia's like, it's not over till it's over. You know, Rocky is going to be up there, all that kind of shit. And then, everything we know about everything with Black Adam. But what happened after that? What happened after Mission Impossible Fallout? Henry Cavill went to Netflix. He went to Netflix, did 3 seasons of The Witcher, 2 Enola Holmes movies. That's what he did. His agents absolutely fucked him. They 100% fucked him because they left him on Netflix to do this stuff. And they basically were like, I'm speculating, but it feels like there's nothing in Hollywood for the guy. You're telling me that there's nothing in Hollywood for the guy? Or he was holding out for 4 years for a return as Superman. And that was something that was just being promised to him. Because if you listen to The Rock's like, we've been trying to make this work for 6 years. So does that mean that you kept him dangling for 4 years over this? You finally were able to get the go ahead. You finally got him to get on board, and you got everybody on board, and then it just fails spectacularly. And so they just decide to move on. I mean, his talent representation is not doing the best for him. And what I'll say to that is, if he is leaving Netflix to go to Amazon, another streamer, to work on another show, that is literally a lateral move, with the only exception of potentially, if you look at the article, potentially being an executive producer, which would then give him more power and more control. If I were Henry, I would be on the phone with Netflix right now trying to get my role back as The Witcher. Sorry, Liam Hemsworth, love you, bro. Pound fucking sand. That's what I would be doing. That's just me, though. That is just me. H-Bars here for $2 says, Lord of the Rings has so much lore. Without Lord of the Rings, no 40K. That's very true. Enterprising does say also he's waiting on Highlander. Chaz Stileski's finishing up John Wick 4. Benson here for £5. Thanks, buddy. Says, some of us predicted Cavill wouldn't return and said Royd Adam would flop. Sad to see man babies like Max and Enosh flip out yesterday. Cavill is Bond. That was actually being talked about on Reddit, by the way. That was being talked about on Reddit, Benson, about Henry Cavill being Bond. And even on Reddit, they're like, no, they want someone a little on the younger side. So I still disagree with you about Cavill being Bond, but yes, you and I did both predict that Cavill would not return and that Black Adam would not do as well as they wanted it. As for, I don't really talk to Enosh much anymore, and I do like to poke fun at Max, by the way. So, all right. Command Unit here for another 5. Thanks, buddy. Saying here, Lord of the Rings inspired 40K a lot, but 40K is over 4 to 8 books released a year. It's just much more of an established world while still being flexible. And you know what? Here's the thing with that. I'll grant you this, Command Unit. You're right. The flexibility of Warhammer and the different types of genres and stories that it tells and things like that definitely allows it to be much more dynamic in that regard, rather than something that is affixed to like a very strident approach. And that would be Lord of the Rings. You know, I don't know if anyone out there, and maybe you can answer this, I don't know if anyone out there goes around saying like, I am a 40K scholar. I have been schooled at the University of Warhammer, and I have a master's degree in orcs for the Imperium, like whatever, right? Like, I don't know. Like, does anyone out there put that on a business card that they are a Warhammer 40K scholar? Because if not, people do that with Lord of the Rings, which is really, really weird. I mean, like, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. I like no shade on those guys. You know, let your freak flag fly, do your things, and have a bit of fun with that one. But, you know, I mean, there's a lot there. There is an absolute lot there. Taylor asking real quick here, are there any Star Wars roles that Cavill should have? Thrawn? Could he go blue? He could do Thrawn, right? Thrawn could be a thing, right? Yeah, Thrawn could be a fun one. Maybe. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I do not know. But what I do know is that apparently Death Stranding is getting a movie, of all things. Very weird. Death Stranding, a game that is kind of just a little bit on the weird side. So here's what we know about this one here. Hot on the heels of announcing Death Stranding 2 at the Game Awards, Gaming Arthur Hideo Kojima Productions has partnered with Barbarian executive producer Alex Lebovici, Hammerstone Studios, to develop and produce a film adaptation of the hit video game Death Stranding. The film is being fully financed by Hammerstone and will be produced by Kojima and Lebovici via their respective banners, with Kojima Productions US and Alan Ungar serving as executive producers. No mention of who would be directing this particular movie, but there's quite frankly only 1 or 2 people that would be up to the challenge. I want you to guess your number 1 and number 2 persons, at least what you think I might be saying. Write them in the chat, or if you're listening to this on the VOD, write it in the chat, write it in the comment section, and then also slap the like. Now, it says here that Hammerstone Studios is a Los Angeles-based production company, and they're responsible for such films as Barbarian, Bill and Ted Face the Music, and the upcoming Nicolas Cage movie Sympathy for the Devil. These guys finance films up to $200 million. So I would say here at this particular point that Death Stranding probably does not have an issue in regards to getting any of the financing done. This game has made money. They just announced a sequel. Kojima has wanted to make a movie for a while. Obviously, this is something that would be right up his freaking alley. But here's what we know. If you don't know anything about Death Stranding, I should say, here's a little bit of tidbits on this. Connecting with more than 10 million worldwide since its 2019 launch, Death Stranding features an all-star cast including Norman Reedus, Mads Mikkelsen, Lea Seydoux, Guillermo del Toro, and Margaret Qualley. The plot of the project, marking Kojima Productions' first ever feature film adaptation, is being kept under wraps. But if you played the game, you know the general plot of the story. It's a precursor to Shaken Baby Syndrome. I kid, but they say here that they hear that this will introduce new elements and characters within the Death Stranding universe. It's not clear who will write and direct the pick, though we understand it's now on the fast track with development underway. Come on, guys. We all know who's going to write it. We all know who's going to write it. It's not even a question. Because Kojima here himself says, I couldn't be more excited about this new partnership with Hammerstone Studios. This is a pivotal moment for the franchise, and I'm really looking forward to collaborating with them in bringing Death Stranding to the big screen. They say that according to the people behind Hammerstone. They say, we are thrilled and honored to have the opportunity to partner with brilliant and iconic Hideo Kojima on his first film adaptation. Unlike other big budget tentpole video game adaptations, this will be something far more intimate and grounded. Our goal is to redefine what a video game adaptation could be when you have creative and artistic freedom. This film will be an authentic Hideo Kojima game. All right. An authentic Hideo Kojima game. Right. So when I ask the question, who's going to write it? Zachary here reiterating. So who's going to write it? It's fucking Kojima, dude. Fucking Kojima. Kojima is going to do it. We all know Kojima's going to write it. I mean, look, do I think Kojima is going to direct it? No, I don't. I don't think he's going to direct it, but he is going to definitely want to direct it. But the biggest problem with that, and I say this out of love, I say this out of respect, I say this with no humorous intent whatsoever, but Hideo Kojima, his stories are kind of pants on head stupid. All right. Like, they're seen as this like deep artistic thing when I'm sure there's a lot of meaningful subtext behind the stories that he tells, but the presentation is something that comes across as like only a French film lover would be able to sit there and go, yes, ha ha ha, Sacré Bleu. Another Kojima production. Yes, it was, what you say, magnifique. It touched all points. It made me question my own existence and whether or not I truly emanated from my father's testicles. Kojima is a true god amongst men. No one can beat him in anything that he tries to write. Is so amazing. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's just like, he's got an interesting concept to it. He writes some interesting concepts. But I lost so many people talking shit about Kojima. we dropped like 15 viewers. Just poking a little bit of fun at Kojima. Look, man, I want Kojima to live his best life. Okay, I do. I want there to be a Metal Gear Solid adaptation. I know the guy who did Kong Skull Island, Jordan Voight Roberts, is supposed to be working on it. Oscar Isaac has been cast as Solid Snake. Please, by all means, give me that. Give me. I want it. But unfortunately, we're just not really getting this kind of stuff. And I feel like if it's going to be a $200 million movie, which it's going to kind of have to be, Kojima's going to write it. And I'm assuming, and my take on it, because I saw you guys in the chat, I think it's going to be Hideo Kojima. I think I think Guillermo del Toro is going to direct it, right? I really do. I really feel that he's going to be the one to direct it. So there's that. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun to see. I'll be there first day watching this goddamn movie, by the way. I'll be there first day watching this damn movie. 100%, man. I got no problem checking it out whatsoever. I think it's going to be a good time. So, all right, here. Let's take a quick look. A couple quick little supers came in on the previous subject, but that's okay. HBar's here for 2 bonus. Thank you. Says J.R.R. Tolkien made so much lore for Lord of the Rings. It's insane, which is true. And then Command Unit here says that 40K does have official lore smiths. So people out there who are all about that Warhammer lore. And that's great, man. That's great. You know what I want to see more of, though? You know what lore I want to see dove into further? That, of course, is Alita Battle Angel, where we're finally getting a bit of movement on the discussion publicly, I should say, about the fantastic movie getting a sequel. Now, I will fully admit, I rewatched this movie last night with my family. I haven't seen it in a while. I sat down to check it out again. I absolutely fucking loved it. My girlfriend loved it. She's like, we watched it on Hulu, but she's like, we own this on DVD, right? I'm like, yeah, I got the 4K. She's like, okay, good. So if the power goes out, we can watch it again and not have to be worried about that. So she's glad that we own a copy of the movie. But according to an interview, a directors interview between both James Cameron and Roberto Rodriguez, we found out that they are kind of on board to do Alita 2. So according to the article, it says here, while James Cameron proceeds to promote his newest film of 13 years, he and fellow director Robert Rodriguez take part in Variety's director-on-director video series, where Rodriguez interviews Cameron on Avatar: The Way of Water. The two have been friends for years and have collaborated on a movie based on the popular manga titled Alita: Battle Angel. The project was an ambitious one, using CGI to composite human actors with various mechanical parts in an extravagant future dystopian world. The movie would go on to make $400 million worldwide, and while that is enormous numbers, Disney has been dragging their feet on greenlighting a sequel. The directors were very passionate about this property, though, and the movie is not without its fans clamoring for a sequel. Just as the producer of the film recently stated their optimal chances for a sequel, now the directors have humorously sworn in a blood oath that they will make a sequel in that director's video. So what they're talking about here, guys, what they're saying is they're like, look, we're going to make a blood oath. We're going to make a blood oath, man, to do it. We're going to absolutely get a blood oath to make Alita 2. I want Alita 2. I think Alita 2 would be fantastic. I really enjoy it. I just think the story is too good to not do a follow-up. They left it definitely on a cliffhanger. And you know what? Rose Salazar was great in the role, and I'd love to see more of her and Christoph Waltz. And it sucks that Mahershala Ali ain't coming back, because he was awesome. There's a lot of other good actors in that movie. And just imagine the good ones that they're going to be able to get going into the sequel. There's a lot there worth checking out. And Fourth here says Rodriguez still managed to make an expensive movie look cheap. It doesn't look cheap, dude. Go back and watch it again. H Parts, I did not get your AI super chat, buddy. I don't know where that's at. I'm sorry. I did not get it. If that was the first one that came up, I did not actually get any of that. I don't know what happened. It glitched or something. So I'm sorry, about that one. But anyway, we'll try to find it. Because I think I know what you're talking about there. So, all right. Garrick here says, we need Spy Kids 5 more. No, I'm going to sit there and say, no, we don't. I mean, I'm going to go on a limb and be like, nah, we good, fam. We good. We do not need, we do not need all of that. Okay. H Parts, by the way, I did look it up, in my old list. Yes. Okay. So, you did send me a thing about that. I don't know why it didn't pop up on the thing, but anyway, thank you very much. All right. So yeah, Alita 2 guys, one's in the chat. One's in the chat for Alita 2. Two's in the chats for no more Alita. How about that? Right. We'll do ones and twos. I want to know. Jay here says over Spy Kids. The first one was great. First one was absolutely good. I really enjoyed the first Spy Kids movie. But Rodriguez needs to not do kid movies. That's my thing. When he does movies that are aimed for like more of the adult crowd, it's a lot better in my personal and professional opinion. So why don't we move on to the final topic of the night, folks? And that, of course, is Avatar: The Way of Water. Released today, 3 hours, 12 minutes long, approximately $400 million budget. A movie unlike anything you have ever seen. And it is, oh my God. There's actually a bit to talk about with this because there's some interesting little factoids. So for one, we found out last night or today, I should say, that they're estimating that Avatar is going to have $17 million grosses in first day. That's preview night grosses here in the States, which is not as good as they wanted. They definitely wanted more of, I think 18 million. All right. But there's a lot of theaters are running this movie. A lot of screens have it, but people are going to want to see it in the IMAX. They're going to want to see it in that 3D. I saw it in the high frame rate accidentally, and I did not care for it. I don't recommend it in the high frame rate. Obviously 24 frames a second, IMAX 3D would be perfectly fine, but it is what it is. So here's what we know. According to Deadline, which is where I grabbed this article from, they say that they're hearing from their sources that James Cameron's sequel to his highest grossing movie in the world, Avatar: The Way of Water, is currently on its way to earn $17 million Thursday night from showtimes that begin at 3. They also say here, as we always say, these figures may fluctuate. Right now, Avatar: The Way of Water's Thursday is around that of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which was a $17 million Thursday night, a $56 million Friday, a $146.5 million 3-day, and just under Jurassic World, which had 18.5 million Thursday and then went on to a $208 million opening. And then that actually of The Batman from earlier this year, which had a $130 million opening with a 17.6 million Thursday night preview. Now, the Thursday night preview of The Batman also included, I want to say, the 3.5 or 3.4 million that came in from the special fan screening 2 nights prior that was held in IMAX. So even though The Batman runs at 2 hours and 56 minutes, Avatar does beat it with a runtime of 3 hours and 12 minutes. It is definitely a long movie, but it's a fine movie. I had a blast watching Avatar. I had a blast. I'm very happy to go back. I like the characters. I like the dynamics. Again, my review is up over on Podio Commentary. You guys can find the review over there. Link is in the video description. So check it out. That just went up. Also on the community tab, if you just want to click over on that, you can find a direct link right there to my Avatar The Way of Water review. I want to hear your thoughts on it because I also do want to do a spoilers discussion on it at some point in the future, just not right now because not everyone has seen it. And I will say this, quite frankly, I don't think there's much really to spoil in the movie. I mean that, like, literally, you might know things going in. It doesn't really hinder the experience. It really doesn't. I have no idea. Fourth here says, I read Avatar will make less than Black Adam. You're fucking dumb. You're okay, dude. Whatever. But, however, not everything is all peachy in regards to the financials. What we're hearing now is that the record-breaking 205 million estimate coming out of China might not actually live up to that particular estimation. So Avatar: The Way of Water is off to a strong start in China despite significant uncertainty surrounding the public health situation in the country. There are a lot of COVID lockdowns, but people are still coming out to go see it. It is not looking to make the 180 to 205 million dollars, but it is currently estimated to pull in roughly 120 million during its opening weekend in China. All right. But again, those raging COVID outbreaks could check its potential, which is really, really, really unfortunate. James Cameron himself said that he wanted to wait. He really wanted to wait until the pandemic was truly over and theaters were truly back before releasing Avatar: The Way of Water. But I just think it's like at some point you realize you just got to do it. And people clearly went out to go see this movie and they are excited to see it. They're excited to see what's going to happen. And I look forward to the conversation turning to shit. People are like, oh, fuck Avatar, but they're all going to be there watching it anyway. Spherical Man said he's not going to see it at all, but little birdie told me he already watched it twice today. No kid. Anyway, the other part of this too, the last little tidbit I wanted to talk about here was that in an interview, James Cameron talked about Avatar 3. Avatar 3 has already been filmed. We know it's already been filmed. It's currently working on its VFX. And what he said was that he had, or the rumor, I should say, sorry, is that he had turned in a 9-hour cut of Avatar 3 to the studio, and that he wants to do all of the VFX shots for all 9 hours of footage before cutting it down. What the fuck? Now listen, do I think it could be possible that Cameron has shot like 9 hours of footage? Sure. Yeah, I do. But come on, man. That just comes across as like way too much. 9 hours. I don't see it. I don't know. I have no freaking idea. It's super nuts. It's super crazy, but you know what? It's James Cameron. And here's the thing with that. Never bet against James Cameron. All right. So, Avatar was, H Parts here says, only watching Avatar since I trusted you with Clerks. The two movies are wildly, wildly different. But you know what? I will stand by that assessment, H Parts. I will stand by that assessment. I like Avatar. Really enjoyed Avatar 2. There's a lot of environmental messaging in number 2, quite a bit, but there's definitely some stuff that we're checking out. Tim here says, isn't he planning 5 of these movies? If he uses 8 of the 9 hours, that'd be fine. I'd be fine with it. Well, what he's doing is he's planning 4 movies, and they actually wrote all 4 movies before they even shot Avatar: The Way of Water. So they shot Avatar 2 and Avatar 3 back to back. Avatar 4 is currently filming in New Zealand, and there has been a significant chunk of the movie already filmed, and that should be done in the next few months probably, and then they're going to get working on Avatar 5 and to just get it done. And I think the movie will be like by the time Avatar 5 comes out, the franchise will be 19 years old. 19 years old. Can you guys believe that? What? 19 years old is how old that goddamn fucking franchise is going to be, dude. I'll be 46. I will be 46 when that shit ends. I was 27 when it came out. I'll be 46 when that franchise comes to an end. And after seeing what I saw today, I am 100% down for more Avatar. I like it, man. I really like it. There is some stuff in that movie that really, really wowed me. Like audibly out loud said, whoa, and I don't do that very often. Even my dad commented on that later on. He's like, yeah, I heard you say it. That was crazy, man. So Benson here says, you won't look a day over 50. If I dye my beard, I won't look a day over 30, but I definitely need to do that. Yeah. So I can't believe that. Yeah. Ryan here says, I was 18 when the first Avatar came out. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Is that nuts? Right? Isn't that nuts? H. Bart here says, I was 8 when it first came out. How the fuck? Okay. Here's what I don't get. You're 22 years old. H. Barts. How is it that you haven't seen Avatar? If you were 8 when it came out, I don't understand how you weren't like at the theater holding your like gigantic, weird monkey human Smurf plushie. I don't get it. Anyway, Spherical Commander says, I'll grant you, Matt, I did hear the effects were great, but that's not much to base a movie off of. The effects are only part of the movie, dude. The effects are only part of the movie. You know what I mean? There's actually a story there. There's 3 congruent storylines that have to do with identity and placement and being in the shadow of a legacy. All right. There's elements there really worth looking into. I don't want to say anything else. I don't want to spoil anything else, but that is true, man. That is absolutely true. 100%. So, I mean, that's just what you got to consider on that one. Blessing here says, I'm 20 and I just saw it this year for the first time. Well, what'd you think, Blessing? I mean, what'd you think of it? If you just saw it. Music Manager says, I haven't seen it. What up? Come on, you guys. Come on. Y'all saw Black fucking Adam, but you won't watch fucking Avatar? That's that's the thing. That's the thing here. Oh, H. Barts here says, I was mad that Avatar was not the last Airbender. Oh my gosh, buddy. Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. That's hysterical, man. I mean, I get, you know what? I guess it makes sense. I mean, I was not around for that specific thing, like I was well beyond that, so to speak, in my age. So I never really had that particular problem. I understand what you're talking about. I get that. But at the same time, holy crap, that's pretty fucking funny. That's pretty goddamn fucking funny. So, oh man, you guys are pretty funny on that one there. But all right, let's see. We've been on for, what is it now? Been on for a little over an hour. Go for a few more minutes. Call it a night. Again, trying to keep these things a little bit on the shorter and more condensed side. But thank you all. Jess here for 5 says, I got tired of Avatar thanks to my job playing the movie 6 times a day. Okay, I can understand that. But I want to tell you a story. Summer 2003, Santee Drive-In. 2 movies we had for 11 weeks. Playing every night for 11 weeks. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and Finding Nemo. 11 weeks. Every night I sat there watching Pirates of the Caribbean and Finding Nemo over and over and over. And I still love both movies, actually. I have no problem with that one. But I get it, dude. I get it. I absolutely get it, man. 100%. I get being surrounded by that, man. That. Now, Blessinger says, it was cool. Speaking of Avatar, I do want to see the sequel because of you. See, that's my goal, buddy. That's my goal. My goal is to get you excited for movies. Now, I get easily excited for movies because I do genuinely like them. I think they're pretty good. So okay. All right. Spherical Commander says, I heard they're going after either the Earth Tribe or the Fire Nation for the third movie. Oh, you cheeky monkey, you cheeky monkey. Let's see. Tim here says, there is an Avatar The Last Airbender movie, but I don't recommend it. I mean, yeah, I'll tell you that, man. I saw that movie one time. And there's that. Moisture says, did Jarbo just say that the Avatar The Last Airbender is just for kids? No. I'm saying that it makes sense that H-Barts didn't want to see Avatar the movie in 2009 when he was 8 because it wasn't Avatar The Last Airbender. But yet 7 months later, in July or June, July of 2010, The Last Airbender movie came out. So when you realize the two weren't the same, now you just fucked up. Will Gunn recast Peacemaker and Harley? Hell if I know, man. Hello. I'm too close to the mic. I know I'm too close to the mic. That's how this works, man. That's how this works, baby. All right, let's catch up on the chat here. Fourth for 5. Thanks, buddy. He says Avatar had less cultural impact than Clerks or Tusk. I disagree, actually. I mean, Clerks had a cultural impact on the independent market. All right, had a cultural impact on the independent cinema back in 1994. But no, man. More people have seen Avatar than they've seen Clerks. I'm sorry. Let's see. Spherical Man here says, I won't take my recommendation from someone who took his whole time to see the new Ghostbusters movie. I mean, listen, man, everyone makes mistakes, buddy. Okay. Everyone makes mistakes. All right. I've seen it now. I've seen it a few times. Okay. So shh. All right. Garrick says here, Predator or Die Hard? Die Hard, man. Die Hard. I do love Die Hard. I love Predator, but Die Hard is my thing. Jay here says, we need another Pirates of the Caribbean movie with Johnny Depp. You're not wrong. I don't think we're going to get it, but I don't believe you're wrong. Yeah. Ghostbuster or Ghostbuster 2016. Nothing with Ghostbusters 2016 is ever going to be good, man. Ever. Nothing about that movie is good. Jay here says Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Dude, no one is going to disagree with you about that. No one is going to disagree with you about Die Hard being a Christmas movie. Spherical Manor says, waiting for you to see Eternals. Yeah. Well, you might need to wait a little bit longer. I still don't have much of a desire. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. This is not working for me in the way that maybe it should. But all right, guys. I think on that note, guys, I'm starting to get a sore throat. I need to go and I need to stop talking. So I'm gonna wind it down, guys. But hey, listen, thank you all so much for hanging out tonight. Thank you all so much for chilling with me, talking movies. We'll do a long form stream for Avatar as time goes on. Give you guys a chance to watch it. In the meantime, pour one out for Henry Cavill. May he get Warhammer. Death Stranding, fuck, that's going to be weird. And go see Avatar The Way of Water. That little independent movie needs your help. That little $400 million independent movie needs you to support it at the box office, folks. Anyway, tomorrow night, community watch party. We'll be doing I don't know yet what it is, but we'll figure it out. Maybe it could be some anime. I don't know. We'll see. Check it out. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.